Hello, welcome to the Strong Start Workshop. We are really happy to have you here and excited for you to start your new journey as a student here at National University. Today we're going to talk about a few essential things needed to get started in your program here. We're going to go over the basics of how to get into our systems and access your courses, and then once you're in your courses, how to navigate those courses. We're also going to talk a little bit about your academic finance advisor, how they'll work with you during your program, and also discuss our drop policies. And then we will wrap up today by talking about our student resources and our academic success center, all here to help you be successful in your program. So probably the most important website to remember as a student here at National University is what we call your NU single sign-on. So the URL for this is login.nu.edu. This will take you into your student portal, which is then your portal to all things you're going to need here at the university, and also a wealth of information about your program and other support systems within the university, as well as how you're going to get into your online courses. If you ever have any issues logging into your systems, you will work with our student concierge services to help you. So their number is, and definitely jot this down, 866-628-8988. And then their shortcut option is number 5. Again, there is a lot of really great information in your student portal, and I don't want to overwhelm you today by going over everything. So we're just going to review a couple of important things within your student portal. So you can see from the screenshot that there is a link to your My Online Classes. So that's how you'll actually get to your online courses where you're going to spend the majority of your time. But another really important link within your student portal is My Enrollment Summary. What's nice about this is it lets you go in and view your schedule, but then also find your textbook information. So you can go in there and see what type of books are available. A good chunk of our books are available online in the course itself through a system called DART, which we'll cover in just a moment. But at times, you might have to buy a physical textbook. So getting in the habit of checking this a couple of weeks before your next term is really helpful, so that you have plenty of time to get a textbook if you need to. And not all classes have a textbook, so you might find there's no textbook at all. So definitely get in the habit of checking this, because it's going to be different from class to class. Okay, as promised, I was going to show you a little bit more about DART, which is the Day 1 Access to Resources and Text. If your textbook is available via DART, then you can go in and access this directly in your course. And I will show you an example of this once we jump into the learning management system and start looking at courses. The first 5 days of using DART is free, and then basically what you do is you opt in, and then you'll get charged on that day 5 for that textbook. If you opt out by day 5, then you're not charged at all. So that's how the payment for DART works. For those of you who like to keep on top of things in your mobile devices, iPads, cell phones, etc., there is an app for our learning management system. It's called the Brightspace Pulse app, and you can really do everything through the app. View everything in your courses, view your grades. You can even take part in discussions and quizzes. I'd say the only thing that's a little challenging to do through the app would be your big assignments. So things like papers, PowerPoints, that would be a little tricky through the app. But it's a good way to always have your course with you, so that if you get a spare 15 minutes, say waiting at the dentist, you can jump in there and get on top of some readings or take a look at what your assignment is for that week. All right, so we've talked a little bit about what you can expect outside of the classroom. Now let's jump in and take a look at a course and see what that looks like. Okay, so once you've clicked on that My Online Courses in your student portal, you will be taken to what we call NU Brightspace. And this is that main homepage. When you first click into NU Brightspace, there's a couple of important features here on the homepage. I want to point out the announcements feature. There's nothing there right now, but at times the university will share important announcements here. So definitely take the time to take a look at what's being posted there when you log in, just to make sure you're on top of any important announcements from the university. There's also your course list over here. This is one way you can click into your courses, but I would say the most common way we see students log into courses is through this little garden plot up here. If you click on there, it brings up a list of all your courses. You can pin courses once you get a few under your belt using these little pins here. Just click and unclick to pin and unpin. This allows you to keep your courses a little bit more organized. But for today's session, we're going to take a look at a English course. So again, when you first log into your course, this is what you can expect to see. Your course itself will also have an announcements section. This is for announcements from your faculty member. So I would say out of all the announcements, these are the announcements to keep a really close eye on, because this is where your faculty is going to give you tips and tricks for the course, introduce themselves. They'll usually do some kind of welcome letter which outlines some of their expectations. So it's really a good idea to use this as a way of learning a little bit more about your faculty member and looking at what is important to them when completing your assignments. If they mention deadlines as being important, assignments being submitted on time, you know to make sure to do that. If they mention formatting and spelling is very important to them, then you know to focus on that. So it's definitely helpful to get to know your faculty member and read their announcements in the classroom. Another nice tool within the classroom itself is the calendar. Nothing on this calendar right now because this is for the beginning of the July term and I'm only in June right now. But when you do have assignments due that following week, you will see your assignments listed here. So it's a nice quick view of what assignments you have coming up for that week ahead. One thing I would absolutely recommend, as these 4 weeks of a course go really, really fast, is to always be planning ahead, be one step ahead, knowing what's coming up. You don't want something to suddenly surprise you and you don't have time to get it done. Okay, so moving up to the navigation bar, there is a link to a syllabus. It's just some general high-level information about the course, so certainly peruse that on your first day, but you're really not going to be spending a lot of time here by your first day in the course when you're looking over all that introductory information. It is very high level. So where you will actually spend the majority of your time as a student is in course content. And you'll access your content through the content link in the course navigation bar. And this really has 95% of what you're going to need to successfully complete your course. So what I recommend students do is to be really purposeful in how you navigate through your content. Be methodical, going through this table of contents one step at a time so you don't miss any important content. And this table of contents lists the high-level modules. To open it up to the lower-level modules, you simply click on these little triangles, and that will open up any sub-modules underneath that. So you can see under Getting Started, I just expanded it. That brought up some content. So as a student, I would make sure to click through each of these one at a time to make sure I'm reading all the different content and coming across any assignments as well as I go through the content. As you can see, there's also a sub-module here. So again, anytime I see those little arrows, I'm going to click on it to open up so I can see what information is under there, and just making sure I'm being really methodical going through all that content. Let's talk a little bit about assignments. You're generally going to see 3 types of coursework in your actual course itself. So you'll see discussions, you'll see quizzes, and you'll see what are called assignments. And what we call assignments here in this system is your traditional sort of homework. This is where you're doing a paper, a PowerPoint, you're uploading a file for your faculty to review. So looking in this course, we can see we have some discussions here. So this is what a discussion will look like. It will look like a little speech bubble. So when you click on some content that looks like this, you know you've got a discussion here. And then to get to the discussion, you just simply click on Go to Discussion. And that opens the discussion in a separate tab. And now you can go ahead and complete the discussion activity by clicking on Start a New Thread. Now we will take a look at what a traditional assignment looks like within your course content. So if you have a traditional assignment, so a paper, PowerPoint, etc., you'll see this little sort of piece of paper looking like it's being put into a little file box is the icon. And it's very similar to a discussion where you click on the content and then there will be a link out to the actual assignment itself. And again, that will open in a new tab. And that tab will have the overview of the assignment, what's required. So you'll basically look at this for the directions, and then once you've completed the assignment, this assignment has a rubric too, you will simply add a file to upload the document, whatever it may be, a Word, a PowerPoint, add the file here, and then you'll click Submit. So that's what a assignment looks like. And then finally, we will take a look at what a quiz will look like. If you have a quiz as part of your content, you'll see this little piece of paper and a little question mark icon. And again, just like discussions, just like assignments, there'll be a link out to the quiz, instructions for the quiz, there's a time limit, things like that. And then you can start the quiz by clicking on Start Quiz. I can't actually start the quiz because this course hasn't started yet, but you'll see a button that will say Start Quiz. So for your coursework throughout your program, you're roughly going to spend about 10 hours within the course itself, reading articles, watching videos. So about 10 hours a week doing that, and then 10 hours a week doing actual coursework. So writing those discussions, doing quizzes, writing those papers. So plan to assign about 20 hours a week. Every student is different, so I can't promise it will be exactly that, but that's a rough estimate of how much time you'll be spending in the course. And what's really important if you find yourself falling behind or life happens is to communicate with your faculty. Most faculty are more than okay with giving you an extension or whatnot if something comes up, but they can't do that unless you contact them and let them know what's going on. So always make sure to keep your faculty's contact information handy so you can reach out to them if anything comes up and you're not going to be able to meet the deliverables of the course. Okay, let's take a little look at the other links in the navigation bar. Course resources will take you to what we call a LibGuide. This is an outside resource which provides links to other helpful resources for your course. So that's what the course resources link will take you to. The coursework link here, this is a quick link to the 3 different types of coursework that I discussed before. So assignments, discussions, and quizzes. Again, assignments are more those traditional type of coursework of papers, PowerPoints, etc. And you'll basically upload a file for your faculty to review, and then discussions and quizzes. Your grades area will provide you a high-level overview of your grades. This is not where you will access your feedback, though, for those traditional written assignments where your faculty member is going to typically be providing you feedback. So do bear that in mind. You will need to go back into the assignments area to view your feedback there. But one nice thing about the grades is this gives you that high-level overview of everything that's going to be due over the 4 weeks and how many points are assigned. So this lets you know, hey, where should I prioritize my time and energy? I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this one 10-point assignment and then don't have time to do these other 4 that are worth 30 at the end of the week. So it really does help you know what to prioritize. If you scroll down to the bottom of the grades area, you will see your final assignment and how many points that is worth. And you will find that typically this is going to be a high point value activity. So again, make sure not to leave this to that last weekend of the course. Be preparing throughout your course to complete this assignment because it will be such a large part of your grade. All right, so that's the overview of a course. If you ever need to go back to your NU Brightspace homepage, you can click on this little icon over here and it'll take you right back to the homepage. I will now briefly show you what a DART textbook will look like in a course. This course has a DART textbook and it can be found in the course content. And typically it's going to be right here in the Getting Started module. So I simply click on the DART ebook to access the DART page, and then I'm going to launch the DART ebook. And it's that simple. There are a couple of things I want to show you in addition to an actual course. I want to show you homeroom. So in your course list, you should see something called homeroom, and this is your orientation roadmap. And you can go through the content in this course as much as you want, as little as you want. You don't have to do it in order. It's not required, graded in any way. This is meant to be, personalized to you. So use this to the level that you are most comfortable with. But what is really helpful in homeroom is on its main homepage, there is a hub to all the different resources available to you. If you're not sure where to go for something, jump into homeroom. Think of it, where do I go when I'm feeling unsure, uncertain? I go home. So go to your homeroom and you'll see we link out all the different resources here, provide a little overview when you might use them. So that's here. And should you still not be sure, and that's totally okay, we have so many different teams and departments here to help you. We have what are called our alumni navigators. These are all former NU students, now alumni, who've come back to support our students, and they are available through this question form. So you'll just fill out here, question and email, and they will get back to you with an answer within 24 hours. So never feel alone. Always come home if you need help. And if it's not linked here, go ahead and submit a question for an alumni navigator. The one resource I do want to reiterate, though, while we are in homeroom, is our student wellness team. You are about to embark in not only just a new journey, but a very new way of life. You're adding, well, I think I said earlier, 20 hours a week to your schedule now to complete this program. And that it's not just the time, it's also the energy, the stress that comes with being a student. So it's really important to focus on your wellness, and that's where our wellness team comes in. But one of my favorite resources that we have for our students is something called Timely Care. So again, I clicked on student wellness and now I'm on their website, and there's a link right here to Timely Care. This is free live mental health counseling for our students. So if you need it, please go ahead and make use of it. It is totally free to you as a student. These are all licensed professionals. It's completely confidential and private. We really want to encourage students to utilize timely care if they're feeling stressed or need support for any other reason when they're a student here at National University. All right, I'm going to head on back to our NU Brightspace homepage, just so I can cover a couple of important links in the navigation bar on the actual NU Brightspace homepage. Under support resources, this is where you will find Brightspace resources. So I showed you a brief overview of your course and how to navigate within there. But if you have additional needs, so when you're submitting your first assignment or doing your first discussion question, this page here, the Brightspace resources, has all little one or two page job aids that will walk you through all the basics of doing things in NU Brightspace in your course. So let's see what a couple of things. Participating in a discussion, here's a little job aid for that. Submitting an assignment, and quizzes and exams. So you can see there's little job aids here to walk you through pretty much every single function that you're going to be doing in your courses here at National University. There's also a link to a tool called Cultura My Media. This is a video tool. So at times you might be asked to create a video assignment. Maybe you'll be asked to present a PowerPoint. They might want you to be on camera, your faculty member. This is when you can use Cultura. You can use this to create a video using your webcam, microphone, and you can present a PowerPoint or present anything on your computer screen. And then finally, I did want to show you how to where you can set up notifications. So where you see your name up at the top in NU Brightspace, if you click on there, you'll see a link to notifications. You can set up notifications in however way you want. You could start by setting up, I want to be told about everything. I want it to be texted to me, and then you can always rein it back in. But I really like having notifications get sent to my phone because this is just the quickest and easiest way for me to stay on top of things. But one thing students are often telling me, I'm sitting there waiting for my grade. I keep checking my course, and I say, stop. Go ahead, set up your cell phone here in notifications, and then make sure that you've checked the box next to alert me when I get a grade. My grade item is updated, and then they just simply get a text when their grade is posted. So they don't have to keep checking their course to see if their grades are posted. So definitely check out the notifications. All right, let's talk a little bit about your advisor here at National University and their role. They'll be helping you predominantly with your schedule and finances. But one very important thing that they do help you with is any drop requests. So if you need to be dropped from a course. Now you can find your advisor information in your student portal. So again, that login.nu.edu, once you're in there, you scroll down a little bit and you can see your enrollment and your academic advisor's information right there, and their contact information, so you can reach out to them. But let's talk a little bit about drop deadlines. Obviously, we do not want you to drop out of your program. We want you to be successful, but sometimes you get in a course and you realize this isn't for you. Maybe the specific course isn't for you. Maybe now's not the right time. And it's really important that you have the information on how and when you can drop a course and what financial implications come with that. So if you are going to drop a course, of course, it's most ideal to do it when you get a full refund. And that is by the 9th day. So please, if you are in that first week of the course and you know you're not going to want to, now's not the right time, make sure to contact your advisor by that 9th day so you can get a full refund. Should you go further into the course, if you get to that 10th day, you would only be eligible for a 50% refund and you would receive a W grade for the course. And then if you get past that 10th day, you're in the 11th day of the course, you don't get any refund if you drop, and you would get a W grade again. And then after the 21st day, it's too late to drop, basically. That's past the drop period, and you'll get whatever your earned grade is for the course, which, if you're not actively participating in the course, would probably be an F, because that, as I showed you earlier, that big final assignment is usually the bulk of the points. So again, just wanting to make sure you have the information you need should you ever need to drop a course. All right, well, on that note, I would like to hand it over to our wonderful librarian who will assist you today.
The library and all of our services are entirely digital, so all of our ebooks, articles, and research databases are available to you online. During your program, you may be asked to use the library to find resources for your assignments. Here's how you get to it. In your Brightspace course, on the top menu, you're going to find a link that says Library. When you click on that library link, you'll be taken to a landing page where you have some options. One of those options is to contact a librarian. So if you have a question like, I can't find any articles on my topic, can somebody help me? You can email the library, send us a text, call, or chat with somebody live. And this chat option is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during term time. So even if you're up very late or working on the weekend, there's help available. If you'd like even more time with a librarian, you can also schedule a Zoom meeting with one of us. You'll be able to choose a time and a date that works for you, and a librarian will walk you through research strategies for whatever it is that you're working on. We call these consultations. If you want to, you can start searching for books and articles from this page using the search bar. So let's say we're trying to find a copy of The Joy Luck Club, which is a novel by Amy Tan. Let's just type that into this search bar, Joy Luck Club, Amy Tan, and hit search. Now we're looking at our search results, and the book is right here. To access the book, you'll click where it says Full Text Available, and you'll be able to read the ebook on your computer or on another device. And you can run searches for keywords here too, not totally unlike how you would start with Google, but when you're using the library, you'll get lots of reliable and scholarly results that you can use for your assignments. On that Brightspace landing page, you can click here to go directly to the library's homepage, where you will have some more options. For example, let's say that you're trying to search for a peer-reviewed paper, which is something that you might need to do this term. You can start typing your keywords here and click the peer-reviewed articles option here to make sure your results are from scholarly peer-reviewed sources. You can also look specifically for ebooks or streaming videos. There's also a link on this page to find video tutorials on research. Watching one of our tutorials is a really good way to prepare for research assignments. And that's especially true if you haven't used a research database before, or it's been a while and you want a refresher. Let's scroll down a little more here where we have a link to all of our request forms. This is where you can request interlibrary loan materials for free. So if you really need a book or an article, but the library doesn't have it, and you can't find it online using Google, you can use these request forms to request copies from other institutions, and that service is free. We don't want you to feel like there's a source that you need for your research that's totally out of your reach. That can be really frustrating. So please let us know if you need help finding the full text of something. And finally, down at the bottom of the page, you'll find our event calendar. We do run live workshops on how to do research, so please feel welcome to join us and bring any questions that you have. Thanks for listening, and the library staff hope to speak with you soon.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Ramon Daines. I'm the director of the Academic Success Center, and I would like to welcome you to NU. The National University's Academic Success Center team is here to walk beside you throughout your academic journey. We are here to support you in developing your skills around your academic writing, your math, your statistics, paraphrasing, whatever it is you need, we are here to support you. So with that said, let me show you around. There are several ways that you can access the Academic Success Center. The first is through the Support Services tab here on the main navigation bar, and here you can select Academic Success Center. Another way to access the Academic Success Center is through your course. And here, under your D2L Content Navigator, we have Student Resources, and you would select that. And you may be asking yourself right now, what is this Academic Success Center? Why do I even need it? Well, let me show you here. The Academic Success Center provides holistic tiers of service and to support you in achieving all of your academic goals. So we want to provide you with individualized scaffolded support in the areas of writing, scholarly writing, APA, math, statistics. We're here. We have lots of different resources. And I'll show you a few of those here in a moment. So here from the Student Success tab, you have access to the Academic Success Center website. We offer an amazing ASC chat, our Ask a Coach service, and then we also have the Writing and Math Center, and we supply scheduled academic coaching in a variety of forms. This is another way that you can access the Academic Success Center. In addition, through the library, on the library homepage, you can select Support Services. And from Support Services, there's a link right here to the Academic Success Center. And here's a quick video that you can learn a little bit more about the Academic Success Center. So now let's talk about what the Academic Success Center offers. Here's the home page of the Academic Success Center. And here you will see that we have what we call a holistic tiers of service. And that means that there's different levels of support that you can select from depending on your specific needs. We also have our Ask a Coach service, which that begins with our ASC chat, where you can chat live with a coach. You can submit a question to our Ask a Coach. You can email us. And even for those moments when you're just working on your paper and you're just not sure and you have your phone handy, send us a text and ask a question. We will answer those questions as quickly as possible. So now let's take a look at some of our self-directed resources and tools that you have access to. All students at NU have access to a premium Grammarly subscription, and here under Grammarly, you can just select this, and here will be the instructions for registering for your Grammarly account. And Grammarly will help you develop your self-editing and self-proofreading skills. Students also have access to Academic Writer. And Academic Writer is an amazing piece of software. It's developed by the folks that publish the APA manuals. So let's just take a look. Here on the Academic Writer page, you will find instructions on how to register and create your account. And Academic Writer has a Learn area where there's several quick guides and tutorials that will assist you with understanding APA writing. There is even sample references, sample papers, different things like that. There's a place for you to do your references for your papers. And in fact, you can even write your paper within Academic Writer. And to support you with that, we offer some group sessions on how to use Academic Writer. However, you'll see many of those same items here such as your reference examples using citations. And we even have an APA formatted sample paper or student paper template that you can download. So that kind of looks at some of our APA style resources as well as our academic writer and Grammarly. We also have a robust collection of writing resources. And these writing resources, being in school is really tough, and you're asked to write a lot of different papers. So these writing resources will begin with the getting started, and you can go through how to maybe begin brainstorming for a paper and outlining, writing your introduction, paragraph development, paraphrasing, very important because we don't want to have any plagiarism. And then we also have how to decode your assignment prompt, as well as different types of writing assignments that you might encounter. And we have lots of resources there to provide to assist you with those. But let's say that you even would like just a little bit more assistance, and that's awesome. So here on the Learn the ASC tab, you can see that we offer, let me go to the scheduled academic support. The Academic Success Center offers 3 types of scheduled academic coaching, and that is our asynchronous recorded sessions, where you upload your document and you will receive written and video feedback related to your strengths, areas for improvement, and next steps to improve. Then we have our group coaching, and this is a live 45-minute session with a coach and up to 8 other students. And this is a time when you get a chance to really interact not only with the coach, but with your peers. You can ask questions, and the sessions are very interactive and focused on your specific questions. So you're really encouraged to come often to these sessions so that you can really develop those skills that you see that you need to develop. Then we have our individual coaching, and these are one-on-one sessions with an academic coach. And these are more longer term, or can be longer term. And you and your coach will collaborate together to develop what we call a coaching plan, and that will include your next scheduled appointment. So these are the 3 types of scheduled coaching. In addition to these, we also offer a robust collection of workshops. So here on our Power Hours study session and workshops, these are open Zoom sessions that you can attend. Say you have Sunday afternoons open that you want to just work on your assignments, and you'd kind of like to have somebody handy in case you have a question. Well, Sundays from 3 to 5 Pacific time, you can join this open study session. No appointment needed. Just select the link and jump right into the session. There's a coach there. There's lots of other students there, and everyone can either work together or just mute yourself or turn off the volume and just use it as an accountability time. Whatever you need these times to be, that's how we'll make them for you. So it just is another way of knowing you're not alone. Now, I did mention the group sessions, so let's take a look. Here's just a few of our group sessions. We offer over 35 each and every week, and they are on a variety of topics. These are our writing sessions. So your APA, looking at your assignment prompt, understanding the flow of your scholarly writing. That is so, so important. But you also need to be able to build your strong writing with some good building blocks. And outlining is always something that's so important. Developing great paragraphs, understanding how to paraphrase, just basic scholarly writing, writing great sentences. See how these are all focused in on your writing and can be scaffolded depending on your specific needs. And the great thing is you can attend as many group sessions as you would like each week, and you can also attend individual sessions. So you and your coach might work together and say, hey, we're going to focus on this topic, but you can also go to these group sessions to help support that learning. So these are just a few of the services that are available in the Academic Success Center. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are here to walk beside you, to be a cheerleader, and just to provide you with all the support that you might need to achieve your academic goals. Thank you and have a great day.